World of Color rehab work continues. The Disneyland Trams return is now official. Ticket and parking prices have gone up. A downtown Disney store is about to debut. And what happens when two holidays collide? You are about to find out. Let's go to Disneyland. Happy Halloween, everyone. Wade for the Kingdom Report back with you once again, covering all the latest trending topics, news, and stories out of the Disneyland Resort theme parks. Today, starting in Town Square at Disneyland Park, where Mickey Mouse himself is trying to be a vampire up on that train station. And yeah, your eyes don't deceive you. We are still just a couple days away from Halloween, and yet Christmas is creeping in. The holiday blizzard has hit Sleeping Beauty Castle, and the snow is setting for the first time since 2019. We have not seen the Christmas castle. Even the icicles have started to arrive, and the lighting effects are being placed on the castle itself so that November the 12th, when it rolls around, the holiday season can be off and rolling at Disneyland Park. Elsewhere in Fantasyland, the sword from the Sword in the Stone has returned after a few weeks away. Yeah, it vanished a few weeks ago, and now the sword is back, so the rightful ruler clearly was not the person who pulled that out. And It's a Small World is getting its holiday overlay treatment as we speak, so the attraction is closed now through November the 11th, reopening for Disney's Merriest Nights. And It's a Small World will return with tens of thousands of sparkling lights and all kinds of Christmas cheer inside for the holiday season. Alongside It's a Small World, groundwork continues on the route leading into Mickey's Toontown. You see the walls are still up for at least half of the path, the other half with new brick layering. Looks very nice. And this is all in front of the Fantasyland Theater where Mickey and the Magical Map used to play. We've covered that Mickey and the Magical Map still dark after Disneyland's reopening and may not likely return, as well as the Troubadour Tavern still with its windows closed. And the Fantasyland Theater marquee, well, it remains under refurbishment as well. We move from here into Tomorrowland, where Finding Nemo's Submarine Voyage remains under the knife right now for a winter 2022 return. We are hearing from the Orange County Register they predict that it will likely be come January before we see this attraction open once again. Taking a peek over the walls, you see lots of sub work as well as intricate work on all of the rocks and all of the various colorful things that need touching up. One thing that we touched on last week that I definitely wanted to touch on again is that the monorail, since it has returned, and yes, we are thrilled that it's back, remains in a state of just disarray. At first, I thought maybe it was only the cabin that I got in last week. Unfortunately, it looks like no matter what cabin I get in, paneling is falling off of the monorail. There is lots of filth, stains, as well as varying degrees of dirt and grime within the cabin itself, and the exterior of the monorail also remains filthy. It's like nobody even decided to take it for a wash, unfortunately, so that's what you'll be exposed to. Elsewhere in Tomorrowland, the Tomorrowland Terrace, the outdoor performance venue just in front of Galactic Grill Restaurant, remains dark. It hasn't been utilized since Disneyland Resort theme parks came back online earlier this year. No character greetings, no band performances, no nothing out here. Perhaps they'll utilize it as the holiday months bring bigger crowds. The Starcade location that currently houses the Magic Key Annual Passholder Lounge is set to dissolve the Magic Key Lounge come October the 30th, and big news out of the Magic Key front, as the Dream Key, the highest key with no blockout dates, it has officially sold out according to Disneyland officials. Just across from that, the Tomorrowland Theater, which used to house Captain EO, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, and Path of the Jedi, remains dark. Still no utilization for this space. As the Disneyland Resort theme parks returned earlier this year, they still did not bring back this venue, and it could definitely play host to an awful lot of folks, especially in those busier holiday months. You take a look at wait times here, and while they aren't as astronomical as they have been in recent weeks, still the new normal is around, and that is wait times usually between 35, 55, and up to 75 minutes on certain days. Let's talk about dining for a moment. When it comes to dining reservations, the Orange County Register is reporting that people are finding themselves in nightmare scenarios where even dining reservations trying to book months in advance is not something people are able to do right now. In fact, dining reservations are being gobbled up at a moment's notice, and it's very difficult to get any sort of reservation anywhere at the resort. Hotels, theme parks, you name it, it is becoming more and more difficult. 60 days out is when you can book your reservation. You might want to jump on that ASAP. We head up to Main Street, USA now, where a new store has opened. What replaced the photo supply store and moved PhotoPass out into the Esplanade is the Plaza Point Holiday Shop. Let's feel some of that Christmas cheer and take a look inside. A beautiful compliment to Main Street, USA, the new Plaza Point Holiday Shop available now for all of our enjoyment. We move into Adventureland, where Tarzan's Treehouse is just about wrapping up its refurbishment. This attraction will return for all of us to stomp across on October the 28th. Up further in New Orleans Square, the Harbor Galley restaurant is now completely behind walls. Guest relations has moved into place just in front of it and kind of out of the way. It's a much better spot for them. The Harbor Galley restaurant returns to us in early November, and we take a look at the new two-tiered seating area that the Harbor Galley is going to be receiving in the near future. Lots of work still underway. Tarps out, especially since there has been some unseasonable rain hitting Southern California recently. And the sailing ship Columbia, well, it now has a return date, November the 25th. It is set to return from its dry dock as it is being worked on and spruced up for all of us to be able to set sail on once again. We slide on into Critter Country now, where the Winnie the Pooh meet and greet area just behind Splash Mountain, right alongside the Winnie the Pooh attraction, remains untouched. They're not using this space for some reason. In fact, Pooh and the 100 Acre Gang, they're all out in front of the castle right now. But this space is also utilized for the Santa meet and greet each year. Now we're wondering if Santa really is going to be making his way back to Critter Country like he has in years past, or if they have other options in mind. We also move into Toontown at this point for our obligatory check on Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway construction. You see not a whole lot of updates from this vantage point. Still, Earth Movers have at least moved out, but nothing more to visibly see any sort of progress on. And the other thing I always like to touch on back here in Toontown is if you are looking for anything to eat, you are out of luck. The Daisy's Diner, Pluto's Doghouse, and Clarabelle's Salads and Sandwiches still remain offline at this time. There is an ice cream cart in this land, and that is all. Over in Frontierland, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is getting ready to return to us on November the 4th. This is an area that continues to be worked on, and we look forward to having it back. Over in California Adventure now, Snow White and Dopey are saying hello to everybody out in the Buena Vista Street and Carthay Circle area. And in Grizzly Peak, we are seeing holidays collide as the Oogie Boogie Bash is still happening in this park, but Christmas decorations have been hung in the trees within the Grizzly Peak airfield area. Right outside of Soarin', you see candy canes, popcorn, and berry decor going up. We move into Hollywoodland and the Disney Animation Building, where one tenant inside is still not open, and that is the character close-up location where you used to be able to meet Anna and Elsa from Frozen. We heard some good news coming out of the Walt Disney World theme parks, and that is in early November. They are moving back to a place where you can meet many of the characters, including the princesses, in a themed location once again indoors. With some modifications, of course. We are hoping to hear the same thing come to Disneyland, as well as California Adventure, and maybe we will see Anna and Elsa back inside very soon. A little further up the street, the Hyperion Theater, the 2,000-seat mega performance venue that used to host Frozen live at the Hyperion, remains dark and still has no plans to bring back any sort of shows. Orange County Register reporting that if a show does return, it likely won't be Frozen. And the outside of this location just hosting some additional seating for Pim's Test Kitchen from Avengers Campus. Speaking of Avengers Campus, We got some Guardians of the Galaxy out saying hello. We move out to the World of Color Bay Area, where you see tons of work still going on the gigantic platform for World of Color, whether or not things need to be rebuilt entirely, tinkered with, or just simply replaced. Lots of tech specialists and other employees trying to bring this show back together for the sake of perhaps re-debuting World of Color in 2022. Along Pixar Promenade, Sadness from Inside Out was trying to keep it together for us. And Toy Story Midway Mania did not have Mr. Potato Head out barking like they usually do. In fact, he was indisposed, unfortunately. Right alongside the entrance to Pacific Wharf, we see the new cappuccino cart that we detailed for you a couple weeks ago, still booming. Lots of people enjoying this location. Something I failed to mention the last time, you can get spiked coffee drinks here, which was probably a big reason behind the popularity. Another thing worth mentioning, if you are coming to Disneyland and California Adventure anytime soon, mobile order is the way of the game now. If you are not mobile ordering, you are going to be stuck in a line just like this with, yes, only one register. This is how it is in most locations now. If you're not mobile ordering, they are requiring you to wait in a significant line just to get what you'd like if you are paying with cash. So you might want to get that app for the sake of mobile ordering. Let's take a moment and appreciate Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa. I could sit here and listen to that piano alongside this fireplace in this lobby all day long. We move across the street to Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel, where we wanted to check in on Disney's PCH Grill, the restaurant that used to host character dining in the morning, a buffet at night. Well, Disney's announced that this restaurant isn't coming back in any capacity anytime soon. We took a peek through the windows just to see if there was any sort of movement, any sort of new ideas. No, nothing. It remains in mothballs at this point, which is pretty sad. This place was the location I used to have my Thanksgiving dinners each year. We move from the Paradise Pier Hotel to the Disneyland Hotel, where it's time to take a look at construction progress on the new Disney Vacation Club Tower, coming right here alongside the Frontier Tower, and will one day apparently be looking just like this. As we take a look over the walls now, you'll see the construction progress going on, lots of digging still happening, big old mounds of dirt, and yes, pillars and pylons going deep into the earth because this tower has to rise up so tall. And from the Disneyland Hotel, we move into downtown Disney, where a new tenant is coming right next door to the other newest tenant. We told you a couple weeks ago, Pele Soccer is moving into the former Void location, while also moving in next door to that is the new Love Pop store. This is where you can buy some pop-up occasion cards, celebratory cards. Think of it as Hallmark with a pop-up function. Further up downtown Disney, we go into the World of Disney, the largest Disney merchandise store on the West Coast, to take a look at holidays colliding in here as well. Christmas has been hung in these halls, and yet it all surrounds a gigantic Halloween display. An identity crisis if I've ever seen one. All right, let's talk parking and ticket prices. When it comes to the Disneyland Resort right now, we've got good news and bad news. Good news being that tram service, yes, is returning officially come early 2022, according to Disneyland. The bad news is that parking prices have gone up 20% to $30 in order to park your car. In addition to that, if you are looking to purchase a one-day, one-park ticket to Disneyland, in almost all of the tiers, you are going to be paying more, including the highest tier, which is now topping out at $164 for a one-day, one-park ticket. In addition to that, Park Hopper tickets have also been raised. And if you are looking for a ride to the front of the park, we always encourage you to park in the Toy Story parking lot to take the big blue bus on up to the Harbor Boulevard side until at least 2022 now. Hey, make sure you are subscribed to us with that notification bell turned on. Hit that thumbs up button if you think we deserve it. And as always, you are now up to date. For the Kingdom Report, I'm Walt Heath. We'll see you next time for another edition of the Disneyland Drop-In.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.